welcome back to a new episode on my YouTube channel. This time we start off where we ended last episode, which were on a plane to an unknown destination. Well, the destination is actually Prague. Since my wife is having her birthday, I kidnapped her and she didn't know until we arrived at the airport where we were going. So in this episode you will join us to Prague and see what we do in 4 days in Prague. The first day when we arrived to the airport, we actually rented a car and wanted to go to a skeleton church that we heard a lot of good things about. Prague and the surroundings is a pretty easy place to drive. Everyone is nice in the traffic and we did a bit road tripping that day. The skeleton church was a strange place. There is actually thousands of skulls and bones from people that has been digged up from cemeteries and placed in different type of creation and art. So everything you see here is actually human bones. If you want to know more about the skeleton church, it's easier for you to Google it and read it on Wikipedia.
We can always make it through. What we do is what we do. I can take you anywhere, somewhere. We won't be scared. You will see me flying high.
After we visited the skeleton church, we went down the road to visit the cathedral that was nearby. The cathedral was actually the place where the monk who actually built the skeleton cathedral, or actually arranged the skeletons, lived and was a part of. In the upper floor of the cathedral there was actually an art exhibition and you walked on the roof of the cathedral, which was a pretty cool thing to do.
Yeah, I need it. Don't you need to?
Since it is April, it's time for the spring to enter the Czech Republic and Prague as well. We had some lunch, not the biscuits you saw, and then we drove to Prague, drop off the car and check into our flat that we had rented. Well, the flat was actually a studio that I found online. It costed about 200 euros per night and it was fantastic with beams in the ceiling, and you also had a view where you could see the roofs of all the nearby buildings, actually just enjoying the view. It will be hard for me to find a better flat in the future when I'm going away. I'm so glad that I found this studio. It was a fantastic place with cleaning and everything included. Of course, when we entered Prague, it was also time to have our first of many beers.
Needed to, 'cause I got you, and you got me too.
Since we love walking, we did a lot of exploration of Prague by foot. And even in the evening we could find a lot of small shops selling food and also a lot of tourist things. But it was great taking walks, and Prague is a fantastic place. It was though a bit cold, the spring hasn't really arrived yet.
River's gonna cry when you're gone, 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 gone. River's gonna cry when you're gone, 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 gone. River's gonna cry when you're gone, 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 gone. River's gonna cry when you're. River's gonna cry when you're. cry when you're gone.
Of course, when we visit a new city, we also have to try the local food. And it's a lot of potatoes, schnitzels, and especially pork as meat in Prague. And not to forget all the beer.
Would stay, but I've always known that you would go find your own way. I still see when we climbed up in those trees, 12 years old, to feel the wind and watch the river run. And the sun would always shine when we sat there, you and I. The river's gonna cry when you're...
As I said before, it was a lot of walking, checking out the city. One of the things we looked at was the Franz Kafka head that every hour changing in form. Unfortunately, we arrived at the statue right after it had changed, so we didn't have any time to actually wait for the next change in form.
Your river's gonna cry when you're gone. It's gonna cry, it's gonna cry.
A visit to Prague isn't complete without visiting the Charles Bridge. The Charles Bridge is known for all the saints in statues that is placed on it, and it's full of tourists walking the bridge, so it didn't get so much pictures taken there because there were people everywhere.
Hey, I heard you want to leave this place where we grew up, this old town, just leave it all behind. The river's gonna cry when you're gone.
I don't know where she came from, kinda turned me upside down. I just don't know what to do. I wanna spend the night at hers and bring her one of my t-shirts so it smells like her perfume.
When you cross the bridge and get to the other side, it's like you enter a new kind of city. To be honest, I don't know if it's an old or new town, but it's a lot of shops, but it's also a bit more tourist feeling on the other side. So we went off to some side street and walked down by the river Moldau to see what was there.
Of breath when you saw her in that dress, when your heart is beating fast and you're sweating and you can't stop looking at her smile, then you've been in love. That's how you know you've been in love.
I had heard about the John Lennon wall, but we didn't plan to visit it. But all of a sudden, when we walked around without any plans, we reached the John Lennon wall, and it's named that, as I understood it, because of John Lennon once had his picture taken there. There is these small creeks inside different places in Prague, and down by the river we found a statue of a monk. It was the symbol of peace and recreation and to slow down your life. So it wasn't any known monk or anything like that.
Have you ever been in love? Have you ever lost your head? Have you felt like you were out of breath when you saw her in that dress? When your heart is beating fast and you're sweating and you can't stop looking at it.
Before we went to Prague, we had heard about a beaver specimen called nutria that actually swimming around in the Moldau River in Prague. They are an invasive species and they are actually not good for the places, but we got glad when we saw them. Czech is also known for all the pastries, and of course we had to try out a lot of pastries, and I would say that this chocolate one was one of my favorites.
I don't know where she came from, it kinda turned me upside down. I just don't know what to do. I wanna spend the night with her, bring her one of my t-shirts so it smells like her perfume. Have you ever been in love? Have you ever lost your head? Have you felt like you were out of breath when you saw her in that dress? When your heart is beating fast and you're sweating and you can't stop looking at her smile, then you've been in love. That's how you know you've been in love.
One of the days we were looking into different folders and we saw that they had some underground walking tour where you could see the underground of Prague that was down to the medieval times even. So we joined one of those and got to see a lot of strange things under the houses where you used to live in old times, because the city has sunken or the ground has risen. It was a great walk, and I even got to try on an old helmet, and why not? Maybe it fits me. The happy woman in red hat is the guide we had. She was really fantastic and really passionate about the guiding.
Now I really get what the love songs are talking about.
Since it was the 1st of April and my wife had a birthday, we actually took a beer walk where we, together with a lot of people from Germany and Denmark, took a walk and visited 3-4 breweries. And it was great getting to know them, knowing a bit more of the breweries and the beer tradition in Prague. I have though been to Prague before on beer walks, so it wasn't my first time, but it was absolutely my first time for my wife. After the beer walk, me and my wife, together with the Danish guys, went on continued to partying the whole night. We ended up in a karaoke place, where among others my wife sang some ABBA songs, and I can promise you, you won't never hear me sing karaoke, because that is not a nice thing to hear. The karaoke place and the karaoke party went on until probably 3 in the morning, and as all good party evening shall, it of course ended up with some night food at the McDonald's in Prague that was open 24/7. This also wraps up our visit to Prague. We got to do a lot of walking and discovering a lot of things. This was only a small bit of it. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, then you won't miss the next video on what happens in the spring and in the summer and so on. Thank you and have a nice day.